Hey everyone, today this is Rosa, RCG Creations. Welcome to my next video. Today we're going to be making a shaker glow-in-the-dark Halloween card. And it's for a swap that I'm in. I've already pre-cut the base card. And here's the stencil right here. I'm stenciling in the background just to give it some color. And I'm using my makeup brushes, which I really enjoy. I forgot to blot, and I got a splotch. But actually I kind of like it because in a true spider web, you've got some really thick spots, and you've got some really thin spots on a true spider web. So I'm actually going to leave it. And now in a few minutes when this is over, when I'm done with the stenciling, I'll flip it over so you can see the reverse, and hopefully soon, in a couple of months, sometime after first of the year, hopefully in early January, I'll be able to get me a new camera which reverses as I'm doing it, so you actually see the same thing that I see. But that's going to require a new camera. Right now I'm just using a little Pocket Instamatic that we had. It works okay. You know, you got to start somewhere slow. You start within your budget and get going there, and you know, you use what you got. And I'm stamping on the Wendy Vecchi Make Art Station, which I love because the little magnets, they're really nice. It holds the card fine, it holds the stencil great, and I'm going to show you in just a second. I technically don't have to hold it. It's just a habit. And then just to keep it there, I always like to, once I've stenciled a side, and here I am blotting my brush so I don't get too many blotches, but some blotches here and there are not so bad. And it holds the stencil, so you technically don't really have to hold it, which works out great. I highly recommend this product. And I ordered mine through a friend of mine, Jen Evers, and she's a creator of Quality Crafts. Check her out on YouTube. She also has a Facebook group, and she also has a resale of craft products, brand new and used, slightly used products at really good prices. She takes everything by email. She PayPals you your invoice. Everything's paid with PayPal, and she ships it out to you in a priority box or package depending on what you ordered. But she sells every 2 weeks on a Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. And check her out. And just all you have to do is just email her your PayPal email address, and you're all set and good to go. And usually she ships on because her sales are on a Saturday, and typically she ships everything out on Monday morning. And most of the time I get mine on Wednesday afternoon. They come delivered right to my office because I have it for safety reasons. Luckily we haven't had any theft items for packages at our door, but I don't want to take a risk on that, so for safety reasons I have everything shipped to my office where I work. So for me that works, and I'm lucky enough that my employer doesn't mind me doing that. So if that's one thing you can do to save on getting your packages stolen. So many bad people out here nowadays. It's like we've been having trouble here in our neighborhood, on our street. And we think it's a high school kid because it's only on our side of the street. It's not on the other side. But it's on both sides of our street. They open up the mailbox, and 3 of my items for my swaps, the person never received it. And I never got theirs. And the expected ship date was around the time frame when the little thieves were around. Okay, so I'm just about done. I'm going to make this corner a little bit darker because I want it to be even like the other ones. And I kind of want to make a splotch right here in the center to be like these other ones. So, and I'm using the classic Stampin' Up! Pad called Smoky Gray. Okay, so I'm going to leave this out just in case I need it for some reason. So let's take our magnets off. There's my little stencil. And this stencil that I'm using is from Carta Bella. It's a 6x6 stencil, which I also got that from Jen. And there's the front of the card. Turn out cute? I like it. I think I'm going to go ahead and do this other side. And I'm not going to have you watch me for that. So I'm going to turn off the camera for a bit. I'll do that off air. And I'll be right back with you in a bit. Okay. Hey there, I'm back. I finished coloring the back part. I just wanted to make it kind of fun and neutral. And I'll wash that a little later. But there's the folded card. And there, but I don't like this little white ink, so I'm going to use a residue that's on the brush and kind of color that in just a little bit. Let me get a little bit that I have here on the side on my craft mat. Yeah, there we go. That way it's not so white. There. See, how was that? Okay, I just had to move a piece of paper that I have for my little notes so I know where in frame I am or not. And this is a card that I use this is the Desiree metal dies from a creator card from Crafter's Companion. You make these are cards that you cut. And this part here doesn't cut, but the rest of this does cut. So you can make all different sizes. It comes in this design. Well, this is what I had. I think they have more than one, but I'm not for sure. And I have this design, which I went ahead already and pre-cut for another card that I'm going to be making next. But anyway, there's that. Now I'm going to do is get a wipey, wipe off my mat, my craft mat here. I don't know if you can see that. I think you can see that. Yeah, I should be in focus. I should be in line here. And then my brush, all you do is wipe it on, I use a microfiber towel. That's just because that's what I have. I actually got mine at the Dollar General, yeah, Dollar General store. I shop there for specials and stuff. I mean, why pay extra money when you don't have to? But all you do is wipe it off. Yeah, it's stained, but you know what? It's still clean because look, here's a clean piece of paper. And look, there's no color. See? No color. Okay, so that's done with that one. I'm done with that inking. So this is going to be my base card. And I went ahead and pre-cut this already. And what I used were these spill binders. And I used the Labels 1, which is this set right here. And I used the big one. Move this out of the way. I used the big one to cut this frame out. And I used the small one to cut the inside for my shaker card, because that's what we're going to be making today. So basically, in essence, what it's going to do is here's the front of the card. This is going to be the center where I'm going to put all the little shaker bits. And then this is going to be the part that's raised up. Now be careful when you're using your dies, And I tried to line it up, but it must have moved in the machine I use in my Gemini. See how this side is a little bit thicker, a little bit thinner, excuse me, than this side? You kind of want to make it all even, but you know what? You go with the flow, and I'm okay with that, so I'm going to go with that. We're good to go. So I'm just going to get some double-sided tape, put over here, put that on there, and whoops, excuse me, sorry, I dropped my container. What I like to order and have on hand is these really thin strips of double-sided adhesive, and they're from Darcy, and these are double-sided adhesive, but I like them because they're really thin on the strips and you get to cut it to size. You can get different sizes, like this package is. I think I got this at some store. Oh, this is Mardwin's. This wasn't mine, this was a friend of mine gave me this. And let me get I like to use Teflon coated scissors because that way when I cut on the double-sided adhesive, it doesn't stick. Okay, so all you do is tear off a piece. And then you line it up. I always forget because this is so thin. And you can maneuver this foam adhesive to the shape that you want. That's what's nice when you make shaker cards. You don't have to stick to the same generic square or circle shape. You can use whatever shape you want to, because with this thin adhesive, there was one that got stuck. You're just going to maneuver the shape, because once it sticks to the paper, it's stuck. Paper or cardstock, whatever it is that you have that you're using. So let me cut this little end off. We're not going to use him. He's not going to go to waste. He will be used. So, and you want to get it as much to the center because you don't want it to be seen from the shaker card. So you want to make sure that the foam. That's why using these little thin strips really work well. And make sure you bunt it really close to the other one. Oops. You can feel the sticky and I had it on the wrong side. Make sure there's no gap. Press down if you have to. Grab another piece, and I'm just going to use the other pieces that I already had pre-cut from another project. And I'm going to continue to move forward. I'm just going to maneuver this. Till I get to go all the way around. This one thick side, this part's a lot easier to use on the thicker side. Oops. That landed sideways on me. Okay, that one's not working very well. Let's do it again. Okay. Oh, I was bending them a little too much. You gotta just watch what you're doing. You can see, you won't be able to see this on camera because it's just too far up. Okay, I want to make sure you don't see them very much on that side. But this part just doesn't want to. I wonder if he's gone out to stick them. Sometimes they do that when you're maneuvering, you hold it you're messing with it too much with your fingers. The oil from your fingers releases the sticky stuff. I can still feel it. It's on there. He just didn't want to be maneuvered too much. I'm okay with that. I'm good to go. Okay, here's my last strip, and this will just be garbaged. And you just line it up. Just follow the shape. Lay it down. Turn it around till it goes to the shape that you want. Now why is that one not sticking? Okay, there's something wrong with this one here. What? Okay, no, there it is, it's sticking. Okay, gonna get this other piece here till I go all the way around. And you see how that's got a point angle? It's not gonna work because it's gonna let some little shaker pieces go by, so I'm gonna cut it so it's an even square, even straight edge. So I can maneuver this right against it because I don't want any of the shaker bits to come loose through any gaps, because that will happen, especially if you use fine powder in your shaker cards. Sometimes I do. Most of the time I use little beads, just whatever I have in my stash, whatever goes with the theme that I'm using. And if you notice, I'm using all my little scraps here that I have left over from the previous pieces, because hey, what the heck, don't need to waste it. And it does stick to you, so gotta be careful because it is very sticky. That's not gonna work. That's just too small. It's sticking to the rest. So okay, that one's good. I'm going to take this off because I'm going to put another layer. I like to double layer mine. A double adhesive. For the simple fact is, you get it. The shaker is easier to work. It's easier to shake when it's double layered. So I'm going to put another row of adhesive on top. And now it's really sticky. It's not letting me maneuver this. This is on that really thin spot that I told you to be careful that I cut. Okay, got it. But I got a gap right there, but that's okay. When I get to the other piece, I'll fix that spot. Take the other release tape off. Take this release tape off. And take this other one. Down here should be the last one. Oops. Okay, so there it is. And you see here, let me show you. This part here that's missing, I'll just add another piece there before I put my second layer on. So let me get my second layer. I know I'm going to use the whole thing. Let me eyeball about the size that I need for that spot. It's easy if you have nails or if you have a pokey tool. You can hold it down so the tape doesn't stick to you. Because once it sticks to you, it sticks to you. Okay, so let me add my double layer. And try, all you're trying to do is just go right on top. Try not to put too much pressure on this one here, because you want to maneuver it around the shape of your cut. But you want it to stick to the first layer of double-sided foam. See? And just add a little pressure just so it sticks. Let's get another strip. And let's move along. And I'm going to finish this off and I'll be back with you in a minute. Alrighty, I'm back. I had to test something because I wasn't too sure if it was going to work, but I think it is. And I'll show you in just a minute when I complete the card. Okay, so here's the card front. There's the front. And there's the back. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this to the card front. Let me get my ATG gun. I was trying something totally new. That's why I went off camera, because I wanted to make sure it worked. And it's like, now I didn't want to spend too much time having you sit there and trial and error, trial and error. But that's kind of the fun of crafting, is we're going to try something, see if it works. If it works, great. If it doesn't, well, then it doesn't. Okay, so I'm going to center this pretty much at the center, because there's where I want it. And I'm eyeballing it close enough for me. I'm good to go with that. Now what I've got is some little seed beads, and because this is Halloween, just gonna put a little bit. I'm not for sure what these are called. I just know they're seed beads. And I just want to pick some little Halloween colors. I'm holding the card down because it's buckling up because of the shape of the card. See? I was trying to keep my beads from rolling. I'm trying to move everything in the center. You know what, I need to bring my... We need Becky's stamp pad up. I'm going to use my magnets. Oh, let's see how many open seeds I lose when I do this. Okay. Okay. So, let me put my magnets on here before I go bonkers. Okay, that's going to hold it flat. Yay! Should have done this in the beginning, but oh well. Live and learn. Okay, so I did my gold, I did my oranges, and I'm going to close those up right away, because if you lose those, you're going to have a big mess. You can clean it up, but it's like, ooh, that's a chore. And then I got these other little, these are like little, little circles, but they kind of, they're shiny. I just want to put a few of those. I don't want to put too many in there. Good thing I remembered. I messed up. Before I put my seed beads on, I gotta put my little critter on. The little critter is, I have this little spatula tool. Let me see where it is. Where did it go? This is from my Cricut. Ah! Stuck to the magnet. Got my seeds everywhere. This is what happens when you're... I had it, but I forgot about it. I was like, duh! I gotta have my main centerpiece in the background. Okay, that's close enough. Oop, and get my scraps. Here's my little spider. And it was just a clip art. And I fussy cut it, and then I put glow in the dark powder, which is from Lawn Fawn. This is the glow in the dark powder that I got from Lawn Fawn. All you have to do is set it to a light, and then it glows, and then it starts to glow. All you have to do to reset it, though, is just set it to some light. So let me get me my... I got sparkly stuff everywhere. This is what I was trying to avoid. So I'm going to get my wet glue, because I want this to lay totally flat on this card, so none of the seeds go underneath it. This is what when I do these, I personally like to use cardstock because it's thicker, so I can use wet glue. That double-sided adhesive is okay, but you get more control when you're using wet glue. So every edge is down. Okay, which is my front on a card. I'm going to make sure I did this right. Okay, I got it. It's facing me. Okay, so I want to put him pretty much in the dead center. Okay, he's there. Press down. Okay, he's down. Now, let me get my little seed beads back in. This is going to be a chore. But thank goodness for my little spatula. Sorry guys, didn't mean for y'all to sit there and just watch me scoop this stuff up, but this is part of crafting. You mess up, you forget what you're doing, accidents happen. Or in my situation, I totally spaced out on what I was doing first. And since these little boogers are so slippery, I like to put a lot of seeds in my shaker cards just so you get a lot of shake out of them. And there's one that's stuck right underneath that. Okay, I'll have to get him later. I'm not going to waste my time on this. I'm just going to put as much as I can on these things on here. The main ones are the orange ones, are the ones that love to roll. The orange and the gold ones are the ones that love to roll. But there's enough black in there to add color to it. I just wanted to have enough where it shakes around and it's humorous, which is what most shaker cards are for. They're interactive. They're great for little kids. They're great for all ages. Older people like them. At least I do. I'm 59 years old and I love shaker. I love to make them and I love to receive them. Okay, I'm not going to worry too much about those other ones because we're just going to go with it. Okay, I'm going to get all this off my fingers. Oh, before I forget, close my glue before it dries up on me. Now I'm just going to add the topper. And I already took the top layer off. But the next tip that I have for you, for all shaker cards, is to get anti-static tool. All this is baking soda. This is made from EK Tools. It's got the little bristle brush here. Or you can get the little powder pack, same kind, or you know what, you can make your own out of an old sock or nylon. And what you want to do is you want to put the powder all inside the double-sided adhesive, because what that does is that keeps the little shaker items from sticking to your card. Excuse me, from sticking to the adhesive on here. And you don't have to, just shake it and pour it in there. This is one reason why I bought this one. I've had this other one here for many, many years, but I couldn't get into the little grooves when I started making my shaker cards a few years ago. This is like 4 or 5 years old. The bristles are really starting to wear out, but hey, it still works. So it's almost going to be almost time for another one, but all you do is just open the bottom of it and refill it with some more cornstarch or baking powder, whatever it is that you want to use. This I think is baby powder. It smells like baby powder, but I really don't know what it is, because I never really paid too much attention. And then you always want to do the outside, especially on these thin ones. If you use the water ones, it's not that big of a deal, because you don't want anything sticking to it either. So you want to go all the way around till all the stickum's gone. Okay, now I'm going to do the release tape on the top layer. You definitely do not want any powder on the top part because you definitely want this part to stick. Okay, now be careful, make sure you do the same shape as the shape of your card. Get all the other stickies off, make sure everything's in the center so nothing gets stuck to it. And this is the part where you don't breathe. Because you want to line it up so it fits oops, move these magnets out of the way. You want to line it up so it fits right exactly where it is, because once it's down and it's not coming back up. Sorry for my head, but I got to see what I'm doing here. Okay, I think I lined it up pretty good. Now you just gently press down on the double-sided adhesive. Oh no, I messed up. I forgot my clear film. Okay, you know what, I'm going to pause because I'm going to take this off. I forgot my clear film. I can't believe I did that. That's what keeps the shaker stuff inside. Oh, and it's stuck. Oh my, this is a bad video today, but you know what? I'm going to keep it all in here because you need to see what happens when you mess up. Because this is just part of the way it is. I forgot my clear adhesive sheet to put on top here so my shakers don't fall out. I'll be back in a minute. I'm going to get my double when I make that. Hold on right second. Okay, I'm back. And acetate is nothing but clear plastic. It can be thin or thick. And here's a piece of thin. And what I end up using is the packaging that comes off of your dies and your stamps. And I just save those because most of the time they're in really good shape. And this is all this was a recycled piece of packaging. Then I'm just going to trim the excess because you don't want to see that from the outside of the card. So just trim around the edge. All I did was get my little die cut, the same size as the big one here, and cut it out. And that's all I did to it. So now I just want to trim the excess so it's not seen from the front of the card. And you'll see, you know, you can see what there's a little extra. I hope you can see that on the camera here, where it's, as you're facing down, you can see it, and you don't want to see that. So just cut it as close to the foam as you can. But the one thing about this is you're going to have foam up, this clear paper everywhere, so you can kind of try to stay in one spot because it's very flimsy, very fly away, and it sticks to everything. Oh, this is one of the reasons why you want to get all this stuff done before, so you don't forget like I just did and make a big mess. Okay, so I'm just double checking to make sure all the pieces are trimmed, which they are. Okay, and then I'm going to put some anti-static powder on here because I want to make sure that nothing sticks to the plastic. Just an extra way to reinforce everything, that's all. Be careful when you do it this way. The way you're supposed to do it is, here's the frame. You put a piece of wet adhesive or double-sided adhesive, either one, a thin layer. Then you put the clear plastic on top of that. Then you put your double-sided foam on top of the clear acetate or the clear plastic. That's the way it's supposed to work. But I didn't do it that way. But you know what? This is an easy fix. It's a little bit extra work. But, you know, if you're like some people, like me, so a lot of times I'm low in time, short on time, low in funds, and I don't have extra stuff with me. And I want to hurry it because I want to get this project in the mail on Monday. Because I want to make sure that I meet my deadline of getting it to her before the 1st of the month. Okay, so that's done. Now I'm going to put some wet adhesive on top of where the glue was at, the double-sided is, and let it stick to the paper. That's not ideal, but you know what? That's a fix, so that's the way I'm going to do it. So I'm just going to put a strip of wet adhesive all the way around because I want to make sure there's no gaps and none of the shaker pieces come out. Oops. There's a gap there of glue. I want to make sure there's no gaps. I want to make sure all this sticks directly to the paper good. I'm not actually adding any more glue, I'm just smoothing out this glue that's already here. Because I want to make sure there's no gaps. So none of the shaker pieces slide through while it's being shaken. Okay, now let's see. Now let's put it in there. Let's line this up as much as we can. Lay it down. Press down. Gotta close up my glue bottle before my tip dries up. Okay, get the glue off me. Now I think I'm gonna hold it down just a little bit just because it's wet glue. And it is double-sided foam, 2 layers of it that I did do. There's a little mess up right there. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm going to pull it up. But that's okay because this glue is art glitter glue and it dries clear and dry. I don't know if you can see that right in there. See a little bit of the glue that kind of eased off to the side there. I hope you can see it there. It's right in here. But I just want to make sure this, I'm putting a little bit extra pressure here just because I want to make sure that it all sticks. But be very careful, don't put too much weight in the center, only on the edges here. I want to make sure it sticks really well before. And that's another good thing with art glitter glue is it doesn't really take that long for it to start to dry and it gets stuck and it sticks, which is another reason why I like to use it. Okay, I think I'm good to go. I'm just kind of feeling it to see if there's any wobbles or anything. And no. Okay. So put my powder stick away. Alrighty, I think I'm okay on that part. Oh, there's a little CB. That's alright. I'm okay. I'll put it away in a minute. Okay, so here's my magnets. I don't want to shake it too much because the glue is still a little bit wet, but I will do it in a minute. Okay, but then there's a card. And let me turn off all the lights and you'll see where it glows. And where is my, I've got my center message. Oh, there it is. But I don't want to open up this card, so you know what, I'm going to stop. I'm going to come back and we're going to do the inside and then we'll be finished with the card. Thanks a lot. Sorry for the inconvenience here. Okay, sorry, I'm back. Here is, I went ahead and just finished the card to save time on the video here. This is the completed card. And see, it all shakes. And that's the inside of the card. Happy Halloween. Now I'm going to turn the lights off and you're going to be able to see it all glow in the dark. There's the little bat.
hope I have it in. It's dark, so I can't really tell if it's in a view or in frame. But there's the bat. And there's the inside of the card that says Happy Halloween. Of course, you need to put it really against a whole lot of light so you can get a good view of the card. But there it is. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Please hit like and share. Give me any comments, good or negative. I welcome all comments. And I think that's so fun and cute. And there is the front of the card. Happy Halloween. You can kind of see the glow-in-the-dark embossing powder. So it's not really bright, but the whole point is it's supposed to be glowing in the dark. So, but you can still see the message. Hope you enjoy it. There's the back of the card. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day. Here is a card glowing in the dark. You have to put a light to it for it to shine. But then, look. There it is. There's a little spider. Now I'm going to show you the inside. Sorry, I got one hand because I got my cell phone that has the light on it, flashlight. Okay, here's the inside card. So I'm putting a light to it, the glow-in-the-dark embossing powder from Lawn Fawn. Now, there it is. Neat, huh? It looks a lot better in real life. But anyway, you get the gist. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.
Okay, I'm back. I'm going to continue the shaker card that I messed up earlier. Here I have a frame that goes around this recycled card front. And so I cut it out. Those are my pencil marks, but nobody's going to see it, so it doesn't matter. Then you get your piece of acetate or plastic sheeting. And as you can see, this is just a piece of leftover from my packaging that I just cut apart. And I put adhesive all the way around. And now I'm just going to be very careful and lay this down. Make sure all sides are touching and there's no exposed areas, but look, I'm off a little bit right here. See this little gap right there? So I'm going to have to piece that. But that's okay. Yeah, it's workable. We can fix it. Now you just want to trim off all this excess plastic, because we don't need it. Be careful not to cut your cardstock. Just cut the plastic all the way around so it is not shown. Okay, there's nothing extra here. Let me cut this little corner part here because we don't need that exposed. Let me get my sharper scissors. Okay, there's that. Now I need to fix this piece right here. And it's right on the edge, so it's not going to be seen that much.
at all. And as you can see, I'm recycling every bit of this plastic. So the more that I recycle, the more extra cash I have left for other scrap crafting items. Because every little bit helps. And you just use what you have. It's kind of hard to see, and I'm not going to bother bringing it up to the camera because you're not really going to be able to see it because it is clear plastic. But in person you'll be able to see it, and you can see, just tear off all this excess that did not adhere to the adhesive, and then just tear it away. To save on the bulk, you want to get as much of this part down. And there, that part's done. That part's done. And we did our repair. You can just barely even see it right here, and I sincerely doubt you're going to be able to see that in the camera. But there's where the extra piece is at. But because I put this other layer on top, you're not going to lose any of the seed beads. Okay, so we're staying in the Halloween theme. So let me get back over here and focus. So let me put me some, whoops, black. Let's do some orange. Whoops, it's a little too many. And all I've done is taken recycled Tic Tacs, washed it all out with soap and water, let it air dry, and then I just use these to store my shaker bits, because I have, in just a minute I'll show you, I have a big collection because I love to make shaker cards. And I like all kinds of colors, so whenever something's on special, I'll grab me some. Oh, these are little stars. I think those are going to be kind of cute to go with the yellow of the sun and the lights in the house. Just going to do a little bit of those, not a whole lot. Oh, I did the orange. Black. Let's get this gold because I like this gold. I want to get some more of these. These are these little gold seed beads. I like them. Those are really good for shaker cards. Let me put some in my hand and I'll show you up close. See, they're little tiny, but they're shimmery. They're kind of like see-through, but they're kind of a gold up. I don't know, what do you call? I don't know if there's a color for these things or not. I'm just going to put this right back in there. Here's one that ran away. Let's put them back in the pile. Always close these bags up because otherwise you're going to have a big mess. Okay. And just to show you, here's one of my containers, and this is a double-sided container that I have that store. Some of these seed beads already have containers with them. And let me just show you, just so you know. Here's some glass containers. I got them in a seed bead kit. Here's some big ones. This came exactly like that, so I just saved it. And then the rest of these are just in this little Ziploc poly bags. Ziploc bags. And what's nice is it snaps shut so you know you don't lose anything. You can stand it up like that. Or you can lay it down and put it on the side. It doesn't really matter because it's all closed and nothing's going to fall apart and give you a big old mess.
Okay, so now what we want to do is put our frame, oops, gotta get my double-sided tape. So what I'm going to do is put double-sided tape around here and around here, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. And this piece, since it's square, it's an easier shape. So I just want to show you. Here's the plastic, the acetate. Oh, there's a piece of hair here. I can tell it's mine because it's black. Oh, come on. You definitely want to get all these fuzzies and off because once you sealed it, it's shut. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to get our anti-static powder, put it on the inside of the adhesive so none of the seed beads attach to it. And then all I did was get these little strips of double-sided adhesive, and then I just cut them in half. You cut them to fit whatever the size that you're working with. And I always like to sprinkle, let me get back in frame here because I may be out of frame here. I always like to sprinkle extra powder on here so the little seed beads and all the little extra goodies that I have in here don't get stuck to the acetate, because sometimes they do. And this one's okay to be a little bit messy because with time, with the shaking and all that, all the powder is going to loosen up and you're not going to be able to see it. So get all the powder. Down there. Now let's remove the backing to the adhesive. And I didn't want to have any gaps or anything, so I put an extra little layer right there because there was a gap where I cut it too short, because I wanted to make sure that none of the seed beads, I hope you can see that, would go through that gap. So what you want to do is totally seal so there's no gap for the little bitty tiny beads to go through. If you're using bigger pieces, like these little orange ones, those are okay because they're too big. But these little tiny, like these little gold ones or those little yellow stars, that will come right out, and then your recipient's going to have a big mess in their hand when they open up their envelope, because that packaging is going to be full of seeds everywhere. Okay, and since this is the boo-boo, I'm going to put that on the bottom, just because I don't want them to see it. It'll be as noticeable. This is the part where you have to be really careful and line it up as best as you can, because once it sticks, it sticks. So I'm going to line that up as good as I can get it. Hey, why am I off? Oops. It's sticking. Oh, I know why it's sticking. This card base is bigger than my card front. That's why it's sticking. I haven't sealed this down yet. So, what I'm going to have to do is I was going to just stick this to my card base, but I'm glad I started this to the side. So now what I have to do is trim this and then move it down. So gonna see if I can tear this part back a little bit. Yeah, I can, because you notice I didn't press down on it. So I am able to do that. So I'm going to trim about right here. Well, if my scissors don't get stuck, they're sticking. Let me trim this. Those big ones are Teflon coated and they shouldn't have stuck, but they did. And then I'm going to trim this right here. This is not ideal. This is not normally what you want, but here's a way of fixing it. Now I'm going to get my big scissors. Trim that off. This is where I want to see. You can see I'm going to have to trim some of that plastic. Hopefully you can see that. So let's get these back in here. Because this is big, bigger than the other one that I did earlier. Static, big time static. Let me get me some powder on my hands. Okay, I'm not gonna mess with those for now. It's taking too long. So, let me go back here, trim off this plastic. And it's better to trim a little bit and then trim a little bit more and then trim a little bit more than to trim too much and realize you've trimmed too far. Okay. That's about right. Let me trim just a hair on this side. Okay, so that's about right. A little bit more on this side. I think I'm okay. Oops. Didn't remove the double adhesive on this one or this edge, which we know we're not going to need because we're going to flush it straight across to here. This double-sided tape does exactly like it's supposed to, as you can see. Get back in that plastic. Let's line this back up. Line that up. Trim this off just a little bit more. Just a little bit more of this edge here. Typically this is not something that you'd have to do, but we're all human. We all make mistakes. Now just learning how to fix them. They're not so bad. Okay, there we are. And see, because I had the double adhesive on the plastic, you see none of the seed beads are falling out. Oops, something just fell. Where did it fall from? We don't want that. I want to make sure that I've sealed all the way around. What we're doing, I'm sealing is the adhesive to the backing paper, which is the front where the house is at. So all this is sealed. There's that crazy little hair that doesn't want to go away. We definitely don't want that in here. Nobody's actually going to see it, but that's the principle. Finally, okay, so let's see. Are there any more? You want to make sure nothing falls out. That's why I'm circling it out, because you want to make sure nothing falls out before you finally adhere it. Okay, so now we know that's done. I'm going to use I'm just going to use my ATG gun. So I'm going to put it on the edge here, and it's going to stick, and then the foam, double-sided exposed foam, is also going to stick to also. Okay. So what's wrong with the gun? Oh, I'm out of tape. Okay. Just use our backup. This is just another inexpensive double-sided adhesive. Okay. It didn't, because of the depth from the foam, and I don't want to put too much pressure on that plastic because I don't want it to seal. I'm just going to go back and use my wet adhesive, because this is cardstock, so it's perfectly fine. And I'm just looking at an angle where the adhesive did not stick, because I want to make sure the whole thing sticks. Okay. I was gonna paint this, so I'm not gonna stick it on there yet because I want to paint that background. But there she is. There's the house shaker card. And as you can see, the little black, because of all the static, it's still sticking, even though we put that powder on there. But it's still you get the main gist of it. You still see the shaker and all that. And that's how you make a shaker card. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for my boo-boos. Love to hear any comments, good or bad. I take them all. Creative criticism is very much greatly appreciated. Hit like, share, and thank you so much for watching.